Okay, let's go on. So, all three religions. And incidentally, there is another consequence here in Islam, which I find attractive. This is what West Europeans should learn. Let me be very clear. I'm totally against Islamic fundamentalism. I totally oppose all that. I'm totally atheist myself. But it's interesting to learn. I read in a book written by Slovene academia about the image of Balkan in 18th and 19th century. Do you know that, my God, how this racist cliches turns around? It's only in the 20th century, even late 20th century, that Islam became a symbol for intolerance, oppression, and so on. Throughout the 18th century, all Western travelers who visited, for example, Istanbul, were shocked by how there is a famous, I quote him in my Parallax View book, French traveler who went to Istanbul and said, it's unthinkable. I see there a Jewish priest debating with a Dominican, both of them then saying hello to a Protestant, to an Orthodox, and then there are Islamists, and he said, this tolerance is a sign of Muslim degeneracy, and so on. So it's incredible how, now their degeneracy is their intolerance. 150 years ago, their degeneracy was tolerance. Another tragic story that I learned from there. Do you know that there was a German Christian convent, a small sect, which were first thrown out by Napoleon? They found a place in 1850 in Germany. Then they were thrown out of Germany, a kind of a small Christian sect, a monastery. And they were looking all about Europe in 1860 to find a place where to build their monastery. They just want a small piece of place, a small piece of land to build monastery to live calmly. No one wanted them except, you know who? The Turkish Sultan, and gave them the place of all places near Banja Luka, where they survived till the recent war and so on. So you see how one should be very careful, to put the blame and so on, like when Islamists emphasized how much more tolerant they were traditionally and so on and so on. So, but let me go to conclude, I see your evil eyes, to my main story. I think that the death of Jesus Christ should be read against the background of Job experience. I follow here Hegel. What dies on the cross is precisely, it's not a messenger of God. It's not God is up there, we are here, God sent a messenger, it didn't work well, we crucified him, so God says, okay, come back to me, son, we'll try again 1,000 years later. No, Hegel reads it that what dies on the cross is the God of beyond itself. The God that I think I mentioned yesterday, apropos Holocaust, when I evoked that image, of like evil is like a stain, and from a global perspective, it's part of the good. The death of Christ, I read it as a kind of abdication. The message of Christ is, I can no longer play God who guarantees ultimately that things has meaning. It's up to you. That's how I read Holy Ghost. It's the proto-communist party, to cut a long story short. Holy Ghost is the community of believers without any guarantee in the big other. There is nobody guaranteeing behind. This is why not the Stalinist Communist Party. The Stalinist Communist Party always needed a guarantee in a big other. All this. We are just instruments of history and so on. Don't take me seriously. Okay. So to come back to it, to conclude, I would say that it's the lesson of all this, of this decentered belief, like how even if we don't believe, we need a chicken, another one to believe for us. So maybe more than hamster, when somebody proclaims, oh, I'm totally without prejudices, I don't believe, the question to ask this guy is, okay, but where is the chicken who believes for you, no? A true atheist is the one who kills the chicken, as it were, no? And it's difficult to be this today. And we need this today more than ever. Okay, it's the end.